Senior John Kasza, and I'm here to talk to you today about what to do when a woodwind part does not exist for a particular piece of music you're playing. Now, obviously the piece I've just played is very familiar. It's Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. It's the joyful, joyful, we adore you, as it's sung in churches. But, you know, there is a piccolo part, obviously, but you're not going to be playing the piccolo part in church. The part that you have is usually a four-part harmony. And so very often composers of pieces sung in church don't include a woodwind part. And so what do? Your director says, I need a flute, I need a violin, I need a clarinet, I need a saxophone, whatever. I'd like to add some color to this particular piece of music. So what do? Well, the first thing is, once you get the piece of music, you usually get the choral ottavo, and this one, obviously, you can see is, has a four-part harmony. The one thing you can do is do what I just did, play the melody line. You can either play it as written, or you can take it up an octave. Now, of course, this is a piccolo, so if you take it up an octave, it's kind of like this. Which is a little bit loud, but it might work, especially if that's the last stanza of the piece. You could also play the harmony, playing the alto line, which is this one. Okay, you can do that. Another place that you could do is play the tenor or bass line. If you're a treble woodwind player, you have to know bass clef, and hopefully you do know bass clef, and it's pretty simple. That is the tenor line of the first line. You could also vary the octave, as I mentioned, playing maybe the first as written, maybe up an octave or down an octave. You also don't have to play every verse. You can maybe start out playing the first verse, lay out on the second verse, start on in the third verse. You could also do half a verse. For example, let the choir sing the first two stanzas and then come in on the third line. Sometimes you may just get a piece of music, it doesn't have any of the other parts, it just has the melody line and the guitar chords. In which case you would even do guitar chords, just playing the dominant note. For example, on this one it has G chord, G sustained fourth, G, D. So you could actually just do sustained notes, kind of as a little obligato on the top. And kind of fill in as a little bit of instrumental nuance. Or if you're real creative, you can add your own harmonies. I'm not going to attempt that here because I don't have the bass line or the other lines playing. But if you have a good ear, you can sometimes fill in and just add other harmonies by going either a third or a fifth above the line of the melody line, or going below. In other words, be creative. But also, above all, listen to what your director says. Your director's in charge. He or she gives you the kind of the note. And they may say, hey, I'd like a little bit more here, or lay out on that part. But talk to him or her and just say, what would you like? And be creative. Don't be afraid to try new things. You can also change it up a little bit by adding trills and slurs and things of that nature, if you're so daring. Now, if you're transposing instruments, such as a clarinet or a trumpet, hopefully you know how to transpose on the fly. If not, you may need to write out your part in the key that's appropriate for your instrument, in which case I encourage you to start learning how to do that. Since I play piccolo and flute, I don't have to, I just play as written. But if you do have to transpose, it's a good skill to develop, and I do encourage especially younger players to learn how to transpose on the fly. It'll do you well in the future if you're doing anything in music. So I hope this has been helpful for you in terms of helping you to decide what to do when a woodwind part does not exist. Try playing something Be creative and let the Spirit move you in whatever way she wills.